Hello and welcome to Bengali Girl. This is your podcast host Nikita, and I'm so grateful that you are here. So today we're actually joined by a very special guest, and her name is Maisha. Maisha, say hi to everyone.
Hi!
Alright, so Maisha and I have been friends. Before this, we had like a recording where we did record, I think, around 12 minutes of audio and realized that her portion of it was not being recorded very well, but we're restarting this now. So we have known each other for the past 13 years. So Maisha, give us a bit of an introduction to you. How did our friendship start? And this is something that I really want to know, your first impression of me.
Okay, so, where do I begin? So the first time we met, I still remember, it was at Ibrahimi restaurant. And obviously there was a dawat or something from some auntie. It was Harun auntie. Let's name her. She's amazing. You were just this new girl that didn't know anybody. Yeah, you didn't know anybody. I think I knew these people.
Yes.
You were new to the group. So yeah, you were, I think, sitting alone, or you were sitting with your mom. I'm not sure. I was taking food and you just walked up behind me and you asked me something. I don't exactly remember what it was. But yeah, I mean, I knew you were new there, so I decided, okay, let's not make the new girl feel awkward. I decided to just answer you, and I invited you over to sit with us and, just hang, Yeah, I think that was how we started talking, and we just never stopped, right?
Yeah, I think I don't remember what was the first thing I told you, but I remember the second thing was definitely something about the weather, because this is something I spoke about in one of the episodes of the podcast as well.
Oh, in your first episode, I still remember. I feel so special still that you did that.
No, but
so
you
thank
are.
you.
You are special to me. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I should be. Yeah, I should be. Exactly.
13 years. I mean, we've been through so much.
I know. We have like so many ups and downs, right?
We were toxic to each other, not like for each other or towards other people. We were just toxic to each other, and then we were nice, and then we were again toxic. And I think it was mainly because of how we were pitched against each other when it came to like dancing for like those shows.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. I still remember, like, there was this one show, like, we usually dance together. I think that was the first program where I found out that you were a dancer as well. But then for some reason we decided that we were going to dance with different groups. And I don't know, it was just so weird, right? Like, Bengali drama is really weird, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
why? That was so unnecessary. But anyway, that was the only time. And I feel like after that, we always danced together. And like, you were my dance partner, and you'll always be my dance partner. That's never going to change, even though we're in like two different ends of the world. Well, I'm in the middle. But yeah, like I still consider you to be like my one and only dance partner, because it was always like a thing, right? Oh, Maisha and Nikita are gonna dance at whatever, like at my wedding or at this event or whatever, So
Yeah.
we became a thing. Like, we were a big thing, to be honest.
We became a duo, like a famous duo. Yeah, and I think it was very interesting because I remember when I started, or like mom told me that we're going to perform for this show, and she's like, you're gonna do it with these people. But I knew that you would, you're a dancer as well, but I felt like there was some kind of politics that was happening.
There's always politics.
They wanted us to
like it's always within the aunties. Like, the aunties have so much politics going on, right? So that kind of I don't know, it applied to us as well for some reason.
It always does. I feel like if our moms didn't have a good relationship with someone at that time, it would be that serious that it would trickle down to us as well.
Yeah, like now that I think about it, I feel like moms have such like mean girl energy, right?
Bengali aunties come together, they
Don't
all
you
just
think
become
so?
really toxic, and they love it.
Yeah, and they still are, like, even though they, like, dad's retired, they all moved to Bangladesh or wherever, and I don't know, like, the auntie still kept that going, which is amazing, Like, good for them.
I don't think they're gonna lose that. I think
Yeah.
that's what keeps them thriving in a way,
Keeps them
like
going,
after
right? Yeah.
retirement. Sometimes I have to even tell mom to like stop because, it kept on getting like toxic, and there's a level that I can let her go to. But yeah, I think sometimes we become like teachers to our moms, and it's very weird. I think this is something that I was talking to Akib as well, that I suddenly feel like there are so many things that my parents were not aware of and I'm teaching them, and it feels like a weird dynamic at the moment.
I feel like they're kind of the children now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, like the roles have reversed, kind of.
And I don't know how I feel about that. How do you feel about the roles being reversed?
I'm okay with it because I mean, I made myself this way where I just go with the flow now. Like, I don't take anything too seriously anymore. I think that happened after COVID when, I don't know if you remember, like, I applied for masters to Australia and that just didn't work out. Like, that was
Yeah.
really, really upsetting for me because that was supposed to be like my life-changing moment,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, I'm gonna move abroad away from my family and stuff like that. So when that didn't work out, I was like, okay, you know what? I just need to pause and just take life, just by the minute and just not take everything too seriously. After that, I just started, kind of going with the flow. So people changing, people betraying me, or whatever, let's just not get into the details. But you know what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
people want to change, if circumstances change, whatever it is, I'm just okay. Like, yeah, I'll be okay. So yeah, going back to parents, changing or roles kind of reversing. It's just that sometimes I feel like my dad is really open to learning new things, right? So if I'm correcting him with something or if I'm trying to educate him
Yeah.
about something, he's okay with it. But when it comes to mom, like I feel like she really, I mean, she still can't accept the fact that Nashita and I have grown up now, so we might know better, right? No, what do you think?
What I really think is, first of all, I admire that, you have taken that step back and you've chosen to like accept things the way they come, because this is something that's really hard for a lot of people to accept, exhibit A. When COVID happened, like before COVID happened, I think I had my life planned out for like the next 5 years or so, and then COVID happened, and then everything, like my early 20s were spent in lockdown. I came out of the pandemic and I'm in my late 20s, and I need to like have my life figured out and stuff like that, like plan for kids or whatnot. And I think for me right now, it's just really hard to like come into terms. And that is why I'm struggling a lot for when the roles are being reversed, where I have to be like the mature person. Because I feel like I lost the opportunity to be like a child, to make silly mistakes and have my parents tell me
Yeah.
things. That's also because back in Dubai, like our dads were always busy, with work and stuff, and our moms, even though they were housewives, but they were always busy with like the social work that they did, and then they had 1,000 dawats that they went to. There was not much time that we could spend with each other where I could genuinely form like a relationship with my mother.
Yeah,
Do you feel
I
like
feel
that?
you. Yeah, I totally feel you. I agree with you. I don't know, like with me, it's always, I mean, everyone who's close to me knows that I have mommy issues. Come on, I mean, that's so obvious, right? So, yeah, like I've always had a problem with
It's
my mom.
either of the two,
Right?
right?
Yeah,
So it's either you
always.
have daddy issues or mommy
Yeah, I
issues.
feel like
Yeah.
it's such a desi thing now, right? So I've always had a lot of issues with my mom. I still do every now and then. It's definitely lesser now. But yeah, like there was a time when it was just really, really bad between her and me. She's come a long way and she's better now. She gets me more now. I mean, she tries to be more understanding now. So alhamdulillah for that. Yeah, she's so open to listening to what I want. I mean, there was a time when she would sort of be against everything that I said.
Yeah.
Maybe for good reason, I don't know. But whatever, like now I feel like she listens to me, she understands me, at least she tries.
Yeah, I think it's a rite of passage for every Bengali or like even Desi girl to have like issues with their mom.
Do you think you're better with your mom now? I know like you've had issues with your mom as well.
I feel like with my mom and me, like our personalities are so similar in a lot of ways, where we try to joke about everything. So whenever people try to come to me about their problems, I try really hard to not like make them laugh by cracking a joke at the situation or like at myself. Like I crack a lot of jokes about me and stuff like that. But I think with my mom, it was really hard for her to understand like the perspective of freedom changing for generations. Like I know that when she was growing up, she was like the cool tomboy. She had like a lot of guy friends. She was out all the time, but I wouldn't say she was out like us, like late at night. She knew how to ride a bike and stuff like that, so she was cool. I know that.
Oh, wow.
But I think it was really
Auntie.
hard for her to accept that her daughters are being brought up in UAE and they're going out and staying late, and then people around her kept telling her that this is the acceptable time for them to come home and stuff like that. But I was being the younger child, I think I was shielded from a lot of it because I think my sister had to face that battle, and then she made it easier for me. I think Nashita can agree. I mean,
I hope my sister would say the same thing.
I'm pretty sure she would. I think for us, it's easier because they're already tired fighting with you guys, like the older siblings. So now with us, they're a bit more easier. Like, they'll try to be more lenient or understanding.
Right. Like you guys kind of get a heads up as well, right? Like, okay, this is how parents are.
Yes, 100%. I think I'm pretty sure Nashita again can vouch for this, where we knew exactly how. So like moms had a bad day, shouldn't ask her anything, shouldn't trouble her or say anything against her, and then once she's in a good mood, then we can like go with what we want. And this is an interesting topic. Like I was talking to a couple of other friends about this, all of them being women as well, where in the future, eventually, if we want to have kids, and once we have the kids that we want and plan for, we would want to have like a better relationship, or like a more healing or nurturing relationship, as in no physical abuse as much as what we faced, but also, let's say, they can approach me with anything. They don't have to like see what my mood is.
Yeah, like sort of being there for your children. Our parents were in the kind of generation where that wasn't the norm. It was more like, oh, I need to raise my child to be the best in the lot, So for us, I feel like our mentalities are more different in the sense that we just want to be there for them. Doesn't matter what they choose to be or how they choose to be.
But Maisha, I think we should end the podcast because we've been talking for quite some time. But thank you so much. Any last parting words for the podcast?
I feel like we always have so much to talk about, and it's just never ending. I feel like we're actually forcing ourselves to stop the podcast now. I know once you and I start talking,
you're gonna come back again. Sure. I'm sure.
Yeah. Maybe I would love to be in an episode with you where we talk about like jinns and stuff like that, because I feel like that's something that was, such a huge part of our childhood, right?
Oh my God. Because this podcast, I think, it's going to be a 2-part, but it's going to be really long. And I hope we entertain people.
I hope so too. And I hope I don't sound like a clown because, this was long overdue. I feel like we've been planning this for over a month now. But I got sick so many times in the last month, or like time just wouldn't match for us. Because obviously I live in Dubai, you live in Sydney. So, yeah.
But I definitely wanted you to be like the first guest on this podcast, which is why
I know
did not
you did.
literally.
That's so sweet of you, and
You don't have to like compliment me. That's completely fine. I'm not gonna like bother you to like compliment me. This is not paid. I'm not paying her to compliment
Yeah, good,
me.
because I wasn't enough. Also, let's talk about your podcast voice. I don't know if people have noticed this, or I don't know if they would agree with me, but I feel like you do have a podcast voice. Like, hi guys, welcome to my new podcast. Blah 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 blah. Like, I was like, okay, who is this girl?
No, I was actually listening back to a little bit of the audio, right? And I think I definitely sound a lot more, like a lot different than what I usually sound on the podcast because I'm talking to you.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't
you do.
have my, composure and like being this voice that I have, talking about stuff. But that's definitely changed. But thank you so much, Maisha, for joining. And
Oh, you're
yeah.
welcome. Thank you for having me. Like I'm so flattered that I was the first guest on your podcast.
Love you, girl.
Love you.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.